everyone and welcome to another video. Today I am doing a TBR and wrap up, so a wrap up for September and a TBR for October because it's holiday time. But before I get into it, I wanted to just mention that there is a competition running in this video, and for those that live in the UK and can accessibly get into London, then on Saturday the 28th of October to Sunday the 29th of October, the Southbank Literary Festival is on in London, and I am hosting a book club on both days where we basically talk about a book on Saturday and we talk about another book on Sunday. The book on Saturday and Sunday, all the details will be left down below, but you can actually enter to win in this video if you want to win a free ticket to both Saturday and Sunday. The competition is open to between 13-year-olds and 25-year-olds, but if you're an entrant under the age of 15, you have to have an adult with you. I'm going to leave all the T's and C's in the comments down below, but the way to enter is by commenting down below saying I'm from London and I'd love go, and then I'll be able to pick one of your names and send it through and let you know that you're the winner. So if you want to come to an event and see me talk, then definitely enter. All competition information is down below, so do go and enter, and let's get on with this video because I've got a lot to talk about. So first I'm going to be talking about the books that I read in September, and I read 6 books in September because I actually had a break from editing my book that I'm editing, Cloakedinshadow, which by the way guys is up for pre-order right now. Look, go pre-order it right now, link in the bio. But yeah, I was not editing, so I managed to get some reading in, which is so good because I find it really difficult to read in editing. My mind just can't cope, and I like to try and read when I edit because I like to stay in that kind of mind frame. But yeah, so this break I managed to read 6 books, which is okay. It's not my best, but it's not my worst. And we're going to go through in order of what I read. So I read Trapped in Silver by Emily Soudan, part of the Trapped in Readathon, which Of Tomes hosted, and for those who don't know, Of Tomes is my publishing company, and obviously if I'm hosting a read-along I'm going to have to join in. This is actually the second time I've read this book, and I absolutely loved it a second time. It's about demons and berserkers in a fantastical world where a girl is thrown into a long-aged war between them, and she turns out to be a catalyst. I absolutely love the trope of being normal and finding out you're special. It's my favourite trope, so I absolutely love reading this, and I just, yeah, every time, I'm going to read this all the time. I can't wait for book 2, I can't wait for it to come into my inbox so I can read it. I know Emily's hard working on the sequel, so yeah, for fans of kind of a Court of Thorns and Roses feel about a girl being really taken out of her world and introduced to a fantastical world, so yeah, I'll leave the Goodreads link down below. Next, I actually read 2 books, one after the other, so I reread Frostblood by Ellie Blake, and then read its sequel Fireblood by Ellie Blake. I just really like this duology. It's great fantasy in first person, just loads of mythology. It was actually the perfect book to read after Trapped in Silver because I do see these comparisons in the world building and just in the writing. They're just so easy to read, and they're both first person fantasy. But I love this series about people being able to either control ice or fire and them clashing, and in book 2, I won't obviously say what happens in book 2 because it is a spoiler, but just really this world is full of mythology and gods, and the gods play a massive part in the series, so I just love this. I literally can't wait for Nightblood. I need Nightblood now. Next, I read and listened to the second book in the Shannara Chronicles. This is The Elfstones of Shannara by Terry Brooks. This is what's actually the TV show is actually based on, is the second book, and I read this one and listened to it on audiobook because I did a lot of driving last month, and it was actually really nice having an audiobook read to me. Now, this wasn't I didn't enjoy this one as much as I enjoyed the first one, but I still did really enjoy it, and I'm actually got some news about the third one, which I'll be mentioning in a moment. But yeah, it's just a classic old fantasy, really old style fantasy, massive world building, hell of a lot of description, clunky dialogue, but I like it. I enjoy the world, and I don't know, it's elves, so of course I'm gonna love elves, but I just like this idea. The idea of the story really intrigues me, and I love a long, slow built adventure. They are my fave, so yes, I had to give this like 4 stars. So good. Now on to one that I didn't enjoy as much, and it was a short story called The Queen by Josephine Boyce. I had really high expectations for this. I heard a lot of good things, and I've seen a lot of good things, but unfortunately for me, I just didn't grasp it. I found it very clunky and confusing, but I know that that might just be my own opinion, especially since a lot of people have really enjoyed it, so I do recommend you do check it out if it's something you might like the sound of. But it was just a very awkward bounce back and forth between events, and it was rushed. I feel like if this was a full-length novel, it would have been brilliant. It just needed like 60,000 more words pumped into it. But I did read this in one sitting, and I finished it, and yes, I can add it to the list. I mean, I'm really behind on my Goodreads, so I've got to read anything I can get right now. And last but not least, I finished The Changeling's Journey by Christine Spores, my friend. Oh, my friend. I enjoyed this. It's like a very lovely written adventure story set in Scotland about lots of different other characters, all whose stories kind of intertwine by the end. And it's got Fae in, which I love, and it's classic Scottish. It's written by a Scottish author, so to see it from an honest perspective is just really cool. There's none of those stereotypes that you read in literature these days. I just really enjoyed this one. It was magical, it was fresh, it was fun, and I got really upset at one part. And what's great is there's really good representation in this. There's a lesbian character, and she was actually my favourite character out of the whole of this story. So, The Changeling's Journey. Check it out. So there you have it. There was my wrap up. I know I didn't do that good, but I think I got some good books in. Now, we are into October now. It is October the 3rd when I'm filming this one, and it should be up today too, but I am editing. So reading for me right now is a little bit tough, but I have got an ambitious TBR, and I am going to be sharing it with you because edits go back to my editor tomorrow, so I'm going to have a week where I can pound out as many books as I possibly can. Maybe I'll do a read along. So first off, what I'm actually reading right now is Freefall by Joshua David Bellin. I talked about this in videos last month, but I was so excited about this book. It's set on a new planet, and it's basically a dual perspective of time between 1,000 years. So these people go on a journey which lasts 1,000 years to a new planet, the privileged, and it basically talks about them on the planet and then the story that built up to them going and how this boy became obsessed with a girl. So reading this one, the cover is just stunning. I never realised there was another face here. I always thought it was just this face, but I just absolutely love this cover, and he's wearing like a mask. Oh my god, it's just so good. I'm actually currently on page 98, and for those who want to read along with me, we're doing a read with Ben, so it means on Instagram, if you're reading it, just hashtag read with Ben and we can all have a discussion about it. I'm dying with excitement for this. I'm also currently reading / listening to the 3rd book in the Shannara Chronicles. This is The Wish Song of Shannara, and I am enjoying this. I'm actually going to be listening / reading alongside Jo Painter. I don't know how far she is. I haven't messaged her for a couple of days, but I'm hoping I'm not too far behind. I think I'm on page 69, but I haven't read it for like 3 days, so oops. But again, love the series. I just want to get this trilogy done. I do really want to read all of the Terry Brooks books, and I think I will do. That's my goal. But yeah, once this series is done, I'll have a little break from the Shannara world, and then I will dive back into it. But I'm liking it so far, except I've got to admit, Alien, he's annoying me. He comes in and ruins the day all the time. Next, the Off Tomes is hosting another read-along this month, which they do every month, and this is for The Witches of the Glass Castle by Gabrielle Leopold. This will actually be the 4th time I've read this book, because I love this book so much. And it's about a brother and sister witch who find out they are witches and go to a boarding school called the Glass Castle, find out how to use their abilities and their powers, and in there you find out a clash between some evil presences, and it is a very, very light-hearted paranormal read, so you should definitely check it out if you like The Secret Circle or Charm. This is a book for you, but yes, we're reading this one this month. It's 99p on Kindle, so if you want it, download, and for those Kindle Unlimited readers, this is also on Kindle Unlimited. Now, the next 3 books I actually randomly picked up. They've all recently been delivered to me. The first one, I don't know anything about it, and I'm not going to be telling you what they're about because I want to go in open-minded. It's kind of what I do with a lot of books. I don't normally read the synopsis because I don't want to spoil myself or get expectations. So with these 3, I'm going to have no expectations, and we can see at the end of the month if that affected my reading. So we've got Nixa by Scott Renteg, Asylum 54.0 by Nidad Richards, and 27 Hours by Tristina Wright. So these are 3 books. I don't really know much about them except they're all in the sci-fi bracket. I think we got superpowers and space for 2 of them, and that's all I know, and I'm gonna go into it with an open mind and see if I like them or not, see if having an open mind affects my reading mood, affects what I think of a book, so we shall see very soon. But yeah, these 3, I love the covers, especially this one. I think the cover is incredible, and this one, so I'll be checking this out and getting back to you all on the social media very soon. There's my TBR, my wrap up, and also the news of the competition. Don't forget, if you are a UK resident and can make it to London that weekend, definitely enter and find all of the details of this competition linked down below. And apart from that, don't forget to go pre-order my book. It's on pre-order right now, Cloaked in Shadows, Gay Elves and the Avatar meets the Shannara Chronicles. Go pre-order, I'll leave the link down below as well. And as always, I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye bye!